Welcome to One Hale of a podcast. I'm your host, Patrick Hale, and today we're lucky enough to have Jared Riley of Riley Roofing, and he's here in the local community here in Sarasota. We're going to be asking him some questions. He also is a member of Casting for Kids, which is a local charity, which we'll be going into here in just a second. So, Jared, just start off. Where'd you grow up?
I'm a local boy, actually a Floridian. Not a lot of us around here. I was born and raised in Bradenton, Florida. Lived almost my entire life in the area. Currently reside in Sarasota and love it here.
Nice. I'm actually from Florida as well, at least a fifth generation Floridian. So there's not a lot of people who grew up in Florida. Not Sarasota, Orlando actually. So
I gotcha.
Yeah, but it is rare to meet people from Florida. What first drew you to roofing and construction?
Well, I got my start when I was in my college days. I had to make a little extra money. So in order to make a little extra money, I actually was hired to put roofs on. I did everything I could do, from doing floors to doing drywall and everything. So I got involved in roofing. Many years went by. I wasn't really doing too much roofing anymore. I was actually in the retail world. And then saw a little bit of the writing on the wall. The retail world was changing. I was kind of blessed that a friend of mine was still in the roofing industry. He came to me and said, "Hey, I want to get something going here in Florida." Got me involved. I was basically his sales manager for a few years. Got tired of being a sales manager, and then eventually just went into sales, and then the story continues.
Okay. So what were you doing in retail before?
I was running stores. I don't know if anybody remembers the good old Sports Authority that was around.
Sports Authority. I spent a lot of time in Sports Authority.
Yes, I was running stores with Sports Authority, and what happened with them? They went bankrupt, and I saw the writing well before they actually did that. They were putting a lot of pressure on the store managers and district managers and all that. So I took the opportunity and took a leap and got back into roofing.
Nice. So what'd you do? You called your buddy up and said, "Hey, I want to get back into roofing." How'd that happen?
Actually, he came to me because we were close friends, and he just basically just said, "Look, I'm going to be doing this thing. I know you know sales. I mean, if you can transition what you do into sales, then you can help grow this business." And the business went for quite some time. And yeah, it was I enjoyed doing that. It was a good time.
All right. And then what's something most people don't know about you?
Well, I just lost my United States Coast Guard fishing captain's license.
Oh, you
When
did?
I was younger, I always had the dream of being a fishing charter captain. But then as I talked to my friends who actually became charter captains, they said you lose that passion for what you love to do because it's your job is then fishing. So you don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
So I didn't want that to happen. So I just went into the retail world and again, doing everything to make a little bit of money on the side to survive.
Yeah, I imagine it's a little bit different when you're going fishing your favorite spots, catching fish, hanging out with the people, your friends, family, doing that. And then when it's a business and it's like people are like, I didn't catch any fish.
Yeah.
They're not always so forgiving when you don't. They blame it on the captain.
It's hard work. I mean, it's real hard work to do what those guys do. They're out early in the morning before the sun comes up, throwing nets, catching bait, and then hooking people's hooks and taking people to fishing spots, getting yelled at if you're not catching fish. And so that's why when my buddy said don't do it, although we're making pretty good money, I didn't want to lose that passion for fishing, so I didn't do it.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of work, especially doing everyone's hooks.
Yeah.
I went to the Keys with my kids, my wife. We met with some friends, and it was my two kids and another little kid because my buddy didn't fish. And I was doing everyone's hooks. I feel like, and putting on bait. When you have little kids around, that's all I was doing for hours straight. It was just going from one line to the next, to the next, to the next.
Believe it or not, I actually feel as though I'm still doing that every time I'm going fishing with buddies. I'm the line tire. I'm the one doing all the taking the fish off and hooking, bait and all that kind of stuff. Even to this day, it seems like I'm still doing it. But
yeah, but at least they're people and you like.
Yeah.
They're not gonna get mad if they don't get fish.
Right.
Nice. So, tell us a little bit about your family and how they inspire or motivate you. I guess that's sort of a good segue. I was just talking about going with my kids fishing.
Yeah.
Tell us about your family.
Yeah, sometimes I wish my kids like to fish as much as I do, but I have a wonderful wife. I mean, I'm blessed to have her. She puts up with me. She is a saint. She balances me out really well. Two wonderful little girls, and I would not want anything else in my life. So these two girls mean the world to me. I come from my father and mother. My father was a Manatee County Sheriff's officer. He retired there. He's still retired and enjoying the retired life.
Nice.
I did gain a lot of like my morals and my work ethic from my father, so I have to thank him for that too. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. And was there ever like when was there an exact moment when you looked at it and you're like, I want to launch Riley Roofing?
Yeah, well, exact moment, but it was on my mind for a while because in the roofing industry, unfortunately, I wouldn't say that there's quite a few bad businessmen out there, guys doing things just to make as much money as they possibly can, doing shady things, doing things the wrong way, and after a while, and with the way I live my life, I just couldn't take it anymore. So I was like, I need to get out of doing this. I need to be the one to make these calls because some of the things I had to tell homeowners, I didn't feel right, but I was doing it because I was told to do it from owners or from the people that I was working for. And then watching what's going on around with the other guys that are out there in the industry, I said, I'm just not going to do things that way. We're going to do it. We're going to do it right. Keep it small, keep it family oriented, and go for it. And I'm glad I did.
Awesome. And how big's your company now? You said you want to keep it small, family oriented.
Yeah, we do. I would say anywhere between 600 and 800 roofs a year, not including repairs. So we stay.
That's a lot of roofs.
We stay pretty doggone busy, but I mean that was also the past couple of years with the hurricanes all come in. Are we going to stay that way? Probably not, because the way I wanted the company to be was I want to be able to see everything and get my eyes on it and introduce myself and say hello and not just be a guy in the background on a computer doing everything. So I try to get to every job, even to this day, but sometimes it can be challenging to do so.
Yeah, definitely, especially as you grow. Yeah. But it sounds like you're still trying to have that personal approach with your customers.
Always, yeah.
And they all know can they all reach out to you? Any of your customers, do they have your phone number, email?
You call the office, most likely I'm the one answering the phone. That's ultimately the kind of the way that I wanted the business to run, was keep it small, make sure everybody's taken care of, and I want to be involved in almost anything. It's killing me sometimes, but yeah.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned the hurricanes. So far, I don't know when we're going to release this episode, but so far we have been lucky.
Oh, yeah.
I've been so happy. There hasn't been anything even getting close to us in ways of hurricanes about to hit Florida. Mm-hmm. Hopefully it stays that way. Hopefully we're not airing this and everyone's like, oh, a hurricane just came through. Right. But how do you approach that because I remember, especially after Ian, when I was driving around, everyone's roof was damaged, it seemed like. Right. How'd that work? Do you get a ton of influx of calls, and what'd you do? How do you decide which ones you're going to work on? Because obviously you can't work on all of them. Not right away. How'd that whole process work?
The process worked. Generally you get a pretty good idea that a hurricane's coming. We kind of knew those hurricanes were coming when they were coming across that way. So we stopped doing any kind of roofs. Roofs, actually, especially shingle roofs, you want to give them time to adhere to the roof. And if you do a roof prior to a major storm coming in, it's a good chance it's going to rip those shingles off anyways.
Oh, really?
They need time to seal down. They need some hot days to really do that. So we shut down a good week in advance. And what I love about my team is that we went into more of a let's help people, not let's make as much money as we possibly can. Now, it did help out that there was plenty of business to happen after that. But what we did differently was we went to let's help people that needed hurricane shutters. We focused heavily on just going out there to the neighbors, to the community, and doing everything we could to do it. What I can say is that if I personally put on hurricane shutters, there was no charge. And my phone did not stop ringing for probably a good week prior to the hurricane, and I was going from house to house.
I bet they did if you put them on for free.
Right. But it got to the point where I was like, okay, my guys are going to want to make money if they're being sent to go do this. So I kept the prices really low, and just that's what we did. And even post-storm, what happens in a hurricane situation or storm situation in roofing is companies from all over the world, all over the United States,
I know,
come here, and all they want to do is feed off of what it is. We went and we started tarping roofs. We started taking down those hurricane shutters that people wanted down. We went out there to help the community instead of trying to make as much money as we possibly can. Now, it did help that because we were doing what we did, they decided to go with us and get the roofs done. But when people's roofs are leaking, their shingles are gone, they want somebody to help, and we made sure to go do that. Did it hurt us a little bit? Probably, because those guys with the insurance chasing companies came down and went after everything. But my morals just said, let's make sure the community's taken care of, and that's what I did.
Yeah.
And the team around me kind of supported that too, and it did help them in the long run too, because now we're a more well-known company that's going to do things the right way.
Definitely. And there were a ton of companies coming in from all over the country. And, the one problem is those companies come in, they don't have to worry, what happens 5 years down the road,
Right.
6 years down the road, because they're out of town at that point.
Correct.
So definitely helps to have someone local, someone who, you're still going to be here 10, 15, 20 years down the road. Yeah. If something happened, you're here to, warranty it.
Yeah.
All right. So, and if anyone's watching at home, I am wearing some Ninja Turtle socks here in the office today. If you're watching on YouTube, just to throw that out there, I'm going to acknowledge it. So if you're watching on YouTube, yes, I do have, that is Raphael, the Ninja Turtle on my sock.
Yeah, you got Leonardo on that one.
Yeah, Leonardo. So you know your Ninja Turtles too?
I'm a 45-year-old man. Those Ninja Turtles were big for me when I was a kid.
Yeah, Ninja Turtles were the best.
Yeah.
I love them. So it's the one area where even practicing law as an attorney, as long as I'm not in trial, I'll spice up my outfit because it's pretty bland otherwise. I'll throw on some fun socks.
Yeah.
So let's talk about becoming a licensed contractor. There's obviously everyone hears the terms and they see it on when you're driving around. You see people who do different trades. It says licensed contractor. What does that mean? A lot of people don't know what that means.
Well, a licensed contractor is someone that has the knowledge and the experience. They should at least have the job done right. They've gone through all the requirements to get that license. They are the ones that are allowed to do the work. And to get any roofing done in the state of Florida, you were supposed to have a licensed contractor do it. The days of doing your own repairs and all that, or hiring unlicensed contractors, is done. So yeah, so you need, in the roofing industry, for example, you need at least 4 years of experience as a roofer or a foreman, or college education based off of the same amount of time, or you can combine the two. You also have to be financially stable, and you have to make sure you take the tests and pass those tests to be able to do it. So.
Yeah. So what sort of college degree? Like some sort of engineering degree, or what would be that degree?
Construction degree is something that they look at for years. I'm not sure what they do now, but for many years it was just, they just wanted to know you had college. Which
that's
was interesting.
Any college?
Yeah, it made it interesting to me too, because
maybe like a philosophy major, like I understand life.
Yeah.
So I can do this roof.
Yeah, I went to school as a business major, and it did help me when it came time to get one. I also had the experience by that time too, so it did help. What I can say is it did help me do what I do now, being in the college days. But,
definitely, if you got a business degree, it's going to help you a little bit when you're running a business.
Sure,
at least you like to hope so, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you pay all the money for in college. So what? And you talked about the hurricane, so I don't know if that's part of the answer to this, and what some of the things you could do after the hurricane. But what's been the most rewarding part of Riley Roofing for you?
Keeping it small, keeping it local, doing exactly situations like I meant when I discussed what we did instead of chasing the money. We really like helping the community. Having a team around me that's willing to do that as well too is fantastic. I mean, these guys really killed themselves during that period of time. So helping the local community is important. This is where I grew up. This is my hometown pretty much. So when these guys come in and they're in here for just to make as much money as they possibly can, disappearing or doing things the wrong way, I take pride in the fact that we kept it small and we're doing things the right way the whole time.
Yeah. And so getting the right people around you when you are running a business, obviously I have a law firm, but really it's a business as well.
Mm-hmm.
Any job, we're here to make profit, but it's about putting the right people with the right core values around you. So how do you find people who, as you were talking about, are just willing to go and for a lower, seems like you guys were doing a discount, putting up shutters, doing all this sort of stuff, just helping the community. How do you find people like that?
You just try to find people that are similar to you, and I was blessed to have people that I worked with prior. When I decided to break out and do this on my own, one of my good friends decided, hey, I'll go too. I'll come and do it. And his way of thinking is very similar to mine. And then as the team grew, even some of these guys, they've been in the industry as well too. They see that I'm out there doing this. Say, hey, can we come along and do that too? And I've been blessed that they think the same way that I do as well too. Customer first, and it's not all about making as much money as you possibly can. It's about taking care of the community as well too.
Definitely. And I know I have some other questions, but since you're talking about taking care of the community, let's talk about giving back. I know you're obviously very active in casting for kids.
Yes.
Can you tell the listeners a little bit about that organization, how it started, what you do in it, and any big events you have coming up?
Absolutely. Many years ago, I was living in Sarasota off the interstate, and I had a neighbor move in next door and got to know him really well. We clicked. We became the best of friends. We started fishing all the time. We fished 4 times a week. Our kids were similar in age. He had a couple of boys and a little girl. I had 2 girls, and they started growing up together. I was at a baseball game with him one day watching, my friend's son play baseball, and he got the notification that his little girl was diagnosed with stage 4 neuroblastoma, which is a lot of times a terminal cancer. So there's not a lot of studies that have been completed on it there's a lot of kids that do get cured from it, but a lot of kids don't. In fact, when they were doing the treatment for his daughter, he met 2 Matts. I call them Matt and Matt, and their children were battling the same cancer, stage 4 neuroblastoma. And unfortunately, their 2 children passed. Those 3 guys got together and said, when they saw what happened in the battle of children fighting cancer and doing their own battles, they realized that these parents, all they want to do is help their kid, and all they want to do is be there for their child. And what ended up happening was they weren't able to do so. Some of them had to go to work. Some of them couldn't pay their bills. So what they did is they said, let's start this and let's start getting a charity together so we can help these kids. And that's what happened. And it's grown over the years. They do fishing tournaments, they do events, they do galas, they do all kinds of fun stuff for the community. So of course I'm going to be involved. One of my best friends.
That's a heart-wrenching story.
Yeah, it is. I mean, even to this day, it scares me because his daughter goes to get scans done quite often just to make sure until she's 15 years old. She's 9 years old now, but she was very young when she got it. But until she's 15 years old, she's going to get scans just to make sure it doesn't come back.
And that's tough for a little kid.
Yeah, and if it comes back, it's tough. It gets worse. So that little girl's battled cancer twice. The second cancer was, I don't know how it happened, but she had something else going on. It could have been from the treatment of the first cancer that caused the second cancer. So, but she's good now, and
good.
It's so I'm very passionate about it. So I get involved by not only donating to help do it, because it's. Anytime he needs something or anything like that, I try to be able to financially help it if something's going on where they need a little help with it. And my time is also there too. So it takes a lot of my time where I'm the judge of tournaments. I'm also, you'll see me around there all the time, and people know they can come to me if they have questions during the meetings and the tournaments and all that as well.
Yeah. So it sounds like, Casting for Kids has a great, mission that they're trying to accomplish there. So what exactly are they doing? I mean, there's no way.
Kids with cancer.
There's no one else who deserves more help than children with cancer. Mm-hmm. I mean, I couldn't imagine as a parent for the children, everything they have to go through. I wouldn't even know where to start, how to deal with that. Yeah. Hopefully I never have to figure out. But it's definitely an organization where people should get involved with. What exactly do you do? So someone donates money. Where does that money go?
Where it goes is it goes to help. It goes to help families that can't, or like for example, what happens a lot of times, for example, is that like if they can't make their car payment, I mean they're financially strapped. They can't, so they'll pay the car payment. If they can't make their mortgage payment, they'll pay the mortgage payment. I mean, it wouldn't even went to the point. You guys have really got to look up the Isaiah story from Casting from the Kids. This child was an example of a child that had cancer when he was younger, and at the age of 15 years old, he was diagnosed with stage 4 neuroblastoma again.
Wow.
And at that point, it was pretty much known that it was probably not going to be a good situation. So what Casting for the Kids did was made that kid have so much fun the latter part of his life. The smiles that were on that kid's face through the whole time, he became part of Ben, the guy in charge of Casting for the Kids. It's part of his family. The Buccaneers stepped up. They threw a big event and had the football players come meet this kid. All this kid wanted to do was play high school football, and unfortunately, he never had the opportunity to play high school football. So those of you out there that haven't seen that story, you got to see that story. And those are the kind of things that Casting for the Kids does. They sent football jerseys from a ton of football players, NFL players, and stories. They would send videos and all this stuff to this kid just to make this kid happy. You should have seen the smiles. Even to the last day, that kid had a smile on his face.
That's touching. Mm-hmm. Wow. So everyone listening, definitely the type of organization you should get involved with.
Absolutely.
Because if you think about it, even making a car payment, if their parents lose their car, they can't take them to treatment, or it makes it much more difficult. And really, with children, they need stability. And to lose that stability, being diagnosed with something like cancer, and then if your parents can't make the bills, that's just more instability in a time when they need more. So, everyone look it up. How do people reach out to Casting for Kids?
Castingforthekids.org. You can do a Google search and you'll find it there. You'll find out a lot of information about what the charity is and what the charity does, and everything helps. So that's what the thing that I love doing is helping out that charity as well too. So.
Awesome. Well, great organization. That's a tough subject to talk about anything else after that.
Yeah, it is tough.
It definitely. I'll look back at these notes real fast. Definitely a difficult subject. So let's talk a little bit more about roofs. We want to talk about Florida roofs. Seems like a hard transition to go into. That's going to be on my mind all day.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that to you.
Yeah, but roof life in Florida, let's get into it. What's unique about roofing here in Florida with the storms, the heat, hurricanes, all that sort of stuff?
Right. So Florida has the strictest codes in the United States when it comes to building codes. So homes have to be built that way. You also have to, wear the right material, right clothing, and deal with the heat of Florida. Some people are like, well, it's hot in New York too, but it's not only hot here; it is humid hot here. The crews have to be well hydrated. They have to be wearing the right gear, the right clothing. They have to be safe. I mean, safety is important as well too, because you don't want to have a heat stroke out there. So the heat
definitely
of Florida
not while you're on a roof.
We also have the storm time of the year where it's raining every day. We know
lightning.
We know at 2:00 in the afternoon the storms are rolling in. So you have to plan out how you're going to roof based off of that. Now in the wintertime, you'll probably drive by a roof and you'll see the whole roof is torn off and all you see is bare wood up there because there's no chance of rain.
Yeah.
In the summertime, you'll see sections of roof being taken off, and they do it piece by piece by piece. So what we do here is we just make sure that we're putting the right product on. And also being aware of everything that's going on around us. Now, when hurricanes are coming, you just got to be there for the customers when the time comes. You just got to do everything you can to help out. Know that you're going to be nonstop for half a year at least when it comes down to getting your phone. The phone's going to be ringing and people are going to need help. And it's just trying to get to everybody as fast as you can.
All right. When's the best time to buy a roof from a price perspective? Does it change over the season? Maybe you don't want to give that away, but I imagine with something seasonal, like I would rather put up a roof in wintertime if I was the one putting up the roof because it wouldn't be as hot and the weather's going to be nicer like you were just talking about.
Correct. Yeah,
I wouldn't want to put one up in the middle of summer Like I would charge more money if someone wanted me to get up there in the middle of summer.
Right. We're definitely busier in the summertime because what happens in the summertime is you look up, you see spots on a roof.
Oh, that makes sense.
And
that's
then
when people notice the
that's
leaks.
when people notice leaks. In the wintertime, it's not raining. No one wants to do a roof. Well, some people do, but no one really wants to come up do that expense on it. So the summertime is definitely the time to do it. Now, what I used to say to people all the time is, I don't really say I have a competitor. There's a lot of roofers out there. There's a lot of people that do what I do. But I say I don't really have any competitors that do what I do. I feel as though a lot of what I do is unique and trying to stay small. Most of these guys want to get big. Yeah. But the only competitor I do have is time. What I can say is prices don't go down. So if you're waiting, you continue to wait. One thing that I've never seen happen is prices go down. As prices go up when a hurricane strikes or as inflation happens, the suppliers will raise their price. And the one thing I've never seen happen is they lower their prices when times get slower. So the waiting, if you need it, it's a good idea to just go ahead and pull the trigger and get it done as soon as you possibly can, or as soon as you can possibly afford it, or if you need finance or whatever it is, you can do that as well too, because it's not going to get any cheaper. I can say that no.
Makes sense. Most things in life don't get cheaper. Right. So, what sort of maintenance, before you came on, I made a joke. I'm like, oh, what about maintenance on a roof? I have a roof, obviously, in my house. I don't know what maintenance to do. Is there maintenance people? You said there is maintenance people should do.
Right.
So what sort of maintenance do you need to do?
Well, the first step I would do is I wouldn't necessarily sign any maintenance deals from people or anything like that, because in my opinion, a good roofer is going to come out and look at something if they have the time to do it and not charge anybody for what it is. And they'll point out the things that they see. Now, time is important. So, like, if it happens too much, you'll start to be like, well, we got to slow this down a little bit. Everybody wants us to check out their roofs when I looked at 50 roofs and they're all fine. But get a licensed roofer out there to come take a look at it. They'll see what's going on. Sometimes nothing needs to be done. Sometimes little touch-ups, little caulk here, a little roof and cement here, will help extend the life of a roof that you have, so you can also have that peace of mind that it's going to last a long time too. Yeah.
So there's shingle roofs and there's tile roofs. Are there, I guess, aluminum roofs? What other type of roofs are there? Name off as many roof types as you can. Are there a lot of them? I
only know. There's a lot. Yeah, there's
cement roofs. I heard of too.
There's all kinds of panel metal roofs, which are, in my opinion, pretty much the best roofs to put on in the state of Florida. But there's also metal roofs that look like tile. There's metal roofs that look like shingles.
I've seen those. Yeah. I had neighbors that got some in my old neighborhood because the HOA required, the tile roofs that are sort of roundish looking. Correct. Whatever they call them. You probably know the technical.
Yeah, there's different manufacturers out there that do it. But we do a lot of the roofs that look like tile. Certain neighborhoods, once you get one in there, they're all like, well, I want that, because if it looks like tile and it's metal, to be honest with you, it's going to be better than tile. So,
tile cracks.
Tile cracks.
Like, even if you go up to your roof, on your roof, it could just crack at any time.
Correct. Tile does provide some water and UV protecting on your roof, but on a wind-driven rain, your underlayment is going to get wet on a concrete or clay tile roof. Some of these metal roofs that look like tile, they're watertight. So
yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, and they look like tile. Well, they're pretty close. I mean, you can definitely tell the difference between the two. But again, you're getting wind. Some of these manufacturers will have over 200 mile an hour warranty. Hail rated, they can handle anything.
Hail rated, they can handle me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Good. Well, if you open their new jumping jacks, probably not. But
I wouldn't do that to anyone's roof.
Wind and hail. Yeah, but there's shingle roofs, tile roofs, flat roofs. There's all kinds of roofs out there, and then we can diagnose and help you to pick the right one.
What's the best if you don't have an HOA to consider and you don't care what it looks like? Because I know everyone has different taste on what roofs look the nicest. What's the most durable roof there is out there?
Metal, period.
Metal.
What I mean by metal is you can't really beat a standing seam metal roof, which is a roof that has no exposed fasteners, can handle high winds. There's different ways of installing roofs though too, because one contractor, we all offer standing seam roofs. It's just how they install them based off of the spacing of the fasteners and all that will help increase wind speed resistance as well too, but no one really talks about that to customers, or at least other guys don't. So we try to make sure that we do it right. We go above and beyond making sure that the spacing of the fasteners are there to provide a roof that set and forget it pretty much. I mean, it'll outlast us if we really want to, can handle just anything that comes this way.
So when people are getting roofs and they're getting quotes, they need to ask them if it's a metal roof, how close are you to fastening? Or how close do you put the fasteners?
Yeah,
like the screws?
Yeah,
like the screws, right? Is that what you're talking about? You just put screws closer together?
Yeah, and now his has hidden fasteners, but yes, that's something to ask, or if they should explain a lot of that to them, which is going to separate them out from other contractors out there as well too. But there's still great shingles. I mean, a lot of times when people talk about metal roofs, you want a metal roof, but there's a price tag on that. You know, there's insurance companies going to leave you alone most of the time for at least 30 years, and they look good, but they also cost sometimes 2-3 times more than a standard shingle roof.
Yeah.
So there's still great product out there in shingles, and there's certain shingles that you can install and certain ones I won't install just because of I've seen what happens when a storm hits.
Yeah. And I'm looking at the time. Let's do Florida Man segment. It's a segment we have. It's sort of weird. What we do is we look up your birthday,
okay,
and we find a Florida Man story in the newspaper
mm-hmm.
from your date of birth. So this one, I don't know what year this was, but it was on your birthday. It happened in Largo, Florida, so just in St. Pete over there, a little north of there. A shirtless man led deputies on a 150-mile-an-hour high-speed chase after stealing a patrol car on the turnpike. It goes into a lot of details, but essentially they used stop strips, which your dad was a sheriff, so you might have heard about stories about those where they roll them out or seen it. Anyone who watched Cops. Mm-hmm. What's your perspective on this guy?
You know, it's
I don't know what there is to say about him.
Yeah, I mean, he was a shirtless Floyd. Sounds just like a Florida man, where he decides he's going to steal a police car and go on a high-speed pursuit. I mean, where else would that happen? I mean, when the stories happen, it seems like it's always Florida.
Yeah.
Not my family member, I can say that, because I never heard about it. But,
maybe he was trying to cool off. He had his shirt off. Yeah. 150 miles an hour, probably rolled down the window. Best way to cool off. I don't know. So that's the Florida Man segment. That was a weird one. Yeah. Let's do rapid fire. This is gonna be quick.
Okay.
Rapid fire. All right. Favorite fishing spot in Florida?
Sarasota Bay.
Okay. Bucket list golf course you'd love to play?
Augusta.
I went to Masters. It was pretty cool.
Oh, you went there? I was just saying.
Thursday. Oh, I haven't played. I'm not that special. I just got to watch it.
Yeah.
On a practice round. Post roofing job or post fishing trip meal of choice?
I would say wings. I'm a wings guy.
Where do you get wings?
Wherever they make them. You know,
wherever they make them.
You go to a restaurant. A lot of times, it's like if I'm taking the guys out or whatever, I'm gonna be ordering wings. So it's
nice.
My comfort food, I guess.
Definitely. One tool you can't live without.
One tool I can't live without. I would probably have to say my ladder based off what I do. You know, like because.
Yeah.
I mean, even today, like one of my guys needed a ladder, and I was like, just take mine out of the back, and then I needed to go somewhere else to go take a look at something, and I didn't have it, so I had to go back and get it, come back. So, yeah, in the roofing industry, I'd say it would probably be my ladder.
Ladders, that makes sense. And if you weren't running Riley Roofing, what would you be doing?
That's hard to say because I would say I'd probably still be in construction. I would probably still be trying to do things the right way. Would I be the owner? Probably not, because not that I don't love being the owner of what we do and what we do, but I know the pressures that it has. I lived the life of a roofing sales guy. That was a nice little job to basically work part-time and make pretty good money doing it. So yeah, I would say I'd still be in construction, maybe working for a general contractor, being a project manager, something like that is probably what I'd be doing.
All right. Well, we're closing out this podcast, One Hale of a Podcast. How can people connect with Riley Roofing? How do they find you?
They can find us at www.rileyroofingpros.com. They can also call at 941-914-8623. Reach out to us. We'll be glad to help you out.
All right. Well, that concludes One Hale of a Podcast, brought to you by Hale Law Action Attorneys. I'm your host, Patrick Hale, and we hope you have a great week.